No.
What's up, Pavloggers? This is a kind of Corso with its tail and natural ears hanging down. As men create purebred dogs, we also create certain style. Obviously, dogs were bred for a purpose, but we also create certain style, meaning they can't breed them the certain way, so we make it happen, like we crop their ears, dog their tails. For example, American Pitbull Terrier or American Staffordshire Terrier, they get to keep their tails, ears cropped. Rottweiler, they get to keep their ears, but tails docked. Great Dane, ears cropped. Some poor buggers, let's name three. Doberman Pinscher, Schnauzer. Well, Schnauzer come in three styles too. Giant Schnauzer, miniature Schnauzer, standard Schnauzer, and our kind of Corso. Traditionally, they get their ear cropped, tails docked. They get both treatments. I'm not the kind of person who, I'm the kind of person who hates people bashing each other. In dog training world, you see that a lot. One style bash the other. People bash a particular trainer. Their training method wasn't acceptable to another, and people really want to put them down to the ground, you know. Not everybody, but just some individuals. I think while we are training dogs are learning. We are learning. I mean, some people make mistakes. I make tons of mistakes, and I'm putting my face on YouTube, and just one or two things prove me I'm wrong, I'll change it. So this is one of the topic I actually thought a lot about. I didn't want to put it on YouTube because honestly, I don't want to offend my fans. It takes time to build up this 4,250 fans. I don't want to upset any one of you. But because it came up so often, I think as a kind of Corso owner, I should talk about it and put my thoughts forward honestly. Quite frankly, where I live in South Island of New Zealand, we don't have any kind of Corso breeders. In North Island, there are only two. So in this entire country I live in, over 4 million population, 4.5 or something, two kind of Corso owners. So for me to see an actual kind of Corso was extremely hard. I can fly up North Island, but I can also fly to Australia. Cost a little bit more, but there are tons of options. So many other breeders there. But before I went to Australia, my first contact, who I was going to buy my kind of Corso from. Well, first I got a contact from US, but because of the quarantine requirement, dogs coming from US has to go through a lot, and it's really hard for puppy. Knowing the temperament of the breed is really bad. Then I went to Hawaii, which is a rabies-free zone, which means I can import them without the dog waiting for like a few months in a quarantine facility. And in US and Hawaii, you can crop ears and dog tails. In Australia and New Zealand, you can't. It's against the law, right? And I have thought about cropping the puppy's ear because I got really close of buying a kind of Corso puppy from Hawaii. Deposit paid, everything was done. The only reason I didn't bring him in was because we didn't know you can fly puppy in from Hawaii, except there's only one airline who does it, and that airline doesn't fly until October. The puppy was born in the winter. Our winter time is July or something, and the breeder couldn't hold the puppy for another 2 or 3 months. I mean, this guy's eat a ton of food, and he doesn't have a big land. So he refunded the deposit, but he did ask me, "Do you want to crop your ears?" I thought about it, and dog tails. Seeing kind of Corso on YouTube or TV and that, and seeing wonderful pictures of kind of Corso, most of the nice photos or videos are kind of Corso with cropped ears and dog tails. Honestly, if you look around, that's what you see. And when the breeder asked me, "Do you want crop ear and dog tails?" I said yes, because that's all I see. But in the end, I couldn't buy my kind of Corso from from Hawaii, the breeder Chris, he was awesome about it, just giving me my money back. The puppy he was about to sell to me, he picked for me for show and breed. I'm sure he picked the best puppy out of the litter for me, but he had to send it back to Texas because I couldn't buy it, which is really sad. But he didn't ask for anything. Anyway, so by seeing what the image of Cane Corso, I requested it. But now I've got this Cane Corso here with ears and tails. I've had it for a year. I don't regret my decision at all. I don't at all. I mean, in the future, if I was to get any other Cane Corso, I don't need cropped ears. I don't need cropped ears or dog tails. I don't at all. I think it makes a lot of sense for people to crop their ears in the old days. If you look at dogs, I mean, what they were bred for, their ears is a big weakness. Other animals can grab onto them when they fight. They are bred to work and often using their physical ability to fight. And ears could be a big a weakness. Some other animals can hold on to, and it's very sensitive. It hurts them. If skin on the neck and that, it's not so bad. So do we need it nowadays? If a lot of people have different reasons. I think this is what I think. If we drill down, we dig deep and deep and deep down. We do it for ourselves, just to please our eyes. It looks good. That's what I believe. I want to show you some videos about the tails, though. Their tails are strong like a whip. In the video you see I have many children in my house. Currently I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. The height of their head is pretty much the same height as Vinci and Amber's tail. And when they whip, they can whip really strong. I don't think being hit by their tail can physically harm you, but it's damn scary to children, and you really don't want to get whipped in the eyes. But tails sweeping coffee and stuff off the coffee table, possible, and a bit scary to children. But I don't think it can cause any harm. When I was younger, I used to volunteer in the vet. I have seen a lot of dog in Taiwan, not in New Zealand. I've seen a lot of tail docking. So tail docking is done within 3 days after the puppy was born. Ear cropping is a lot more complicated, though. It's a lot of work afterwards, after the surgery required by man. They are not cheap either. And you can look it up. Sometimes it can go wrong. And that's not pretty. So, like I said, I'm not against anyone doing anything. A lot of law has changed from the old days. Animal rights group is doing their thing. Veterinarian society are the one that's pushing government to ban ear cropping and tail docking in this country, in New Zealand. It's not actually anyone outside. It's the vets that make money from these surgeries. They don't want it. They don't want to do this. So a lot of European countries are doing that. US, not so much. So I just want to put this out there as a Cane Corso owner. In summary, once you own a car, if you were like me, looking at all the Cane Corso with cropped ears, dog tail looking tough and looking sharp, and maybe not looking tough, looking sharp, whatever, however you want to word it. Once you own a Cane Corso with its natural looks, you may be like the same as me. It doesn't matter. They look just as good. In fact, now I look at the dogs with cropped ears and dog tails. I don't even think they look that good anymore. I mean, imagine my boy here with the looks. I don't think it looks good. Now I like them the way they are. So that's me. See you next time. Finally got that out of my chest. Feels good.